What's up, guys? We are back with a NECA Toys review, taking a look at the most recent Xenomorph from the Alien franchise. And we're taking a look at, well, a big one, literally, figuratively, and just in the overall mythology of Alien. We're taking a look at the original. We're taking a look at the ultimate big chap Xenomorph, so the Alien from Alien. We've got him here in a standard but ultimate style packaging, of course. So you've got a shot of the original poster artwork with the Alien logo down there on the bottom. You've got a shot of a bunch of eggs on the side, and then the back of the box has a great spread of shots of the figure and all the stuff he comes with. But of course, being an ultimate style package, it's got a flap. Pop that guy open, and then you've got a shot of the Xeno here on the side, and then the figure there in the window with all of his stuff. So let's do it. Let's pull him out and take a look. And here he is out of the package, our ultimate big chap Xenomorph from the original Alien, the guy that caused such a ruckus on the Nostromo. And this is a figure that I really wanted to get for a while. It kind of went under the radar for me for a while. I just sort of forgot about it coming out. But it's definitely something that I've wanted just because of what it signifies in Alien mythology on its own, and because I don't have an older one. But this was obviously the one to get because of the figure itself, and then all the stuff that it comes with, because this isn't really just the Alien itself, not just the Xenomorph. This is basically the life cycle of the big chap Xenomorph. So there's a lot of cool extra stuff in here to kind of part out your display a little bit, and just to make things look a little cooler, because we do have some really solid accessories on this one. So let's get right into it. See how he moves around, of course. There's not a lot crazy going on here. If you're familiar with Xenomorphs, you pretty much know what's going on. He's not exactly the same as a lot of the Xenos we've gotten recently, because those are more true warrior style Xenos, where he's not necessarily that. So you've got a head that can look up. It hits the ridges on the back, so he can look up. He can look down. You've got a little tilt side to side, and then you do have full rotation, but of course you've got things in the way, so you've got like the big shoulder plates, and then you've also got these tubes that run back, so you just kind of watch those. The arms will go out at the shoulder. They rotate as well. You've got your double jointed elbows here, and then of course you can rotate up in there as well at the elbow joint, so rotating double jointed elbows. And then you've got hinges and rotation at the wrist. We've got a diaphragm cut, so he goes all the way around. He's got pretty good range of motion at the torso, surprisingly so. It works better than you might think. He goes backwards, forwards, side to side really good, and then of course, like I said, all the way around. Legs go all the way out, so get him to do those Xeno splits. They kick forward all the way. They do kick backward, and then you can cut in there at the thigh. You've got your double jointed knees, and then you've also got your hinge rocker action down there at those ankles. You do also have toe articulation, which honestly works surprisingly well on this figure. I've actually had him balanced on his toes. And then you've got your rotating tail at the base of the spine, and then you've got the bendy wire in there as well. So he's pretty standard for an ultimate figure. He does move around really well though. Now, when it comes to the aesthetics on this guy, this fella is very much par for the course when it comes to NECA aliens, but that's not a bad thing. It's just he's covered in paint, and he's covered in tremendously small, minute detail. So there's just a lot going on here, but it's stuff we've seen before. It's not exactly unfamiliar territory. So we've got that very telltale alien structure with the biomechanical look, so very true to the H.R. Geiger themes and designs, but it's very much robotic while at the same time being very organic, and I think it works really well. The way they've sculpted this with all those tiny little ribbings and just the bone structure and all of what seem like seam lines that run down the body, you know, springs and gears and wires almost, while at the same time being clearly organic. And then you've got a nice kind of dry brushing and overspray of almost a cementy color on this figure. It helps it look like it's kind of cast in shadow, is the only way I can kind of describe it. So the figure is basically jet black on its own, but then you've got this kind of overcast, dull gray, brown color that really helps to accentuate a lot of it, because you've got tons on the chest, and it's kind of part and parcel for the arms, and then down through the legs, and then it's on the back as well, but it's kind of spotty almost, so it comes in like little ribbings up and down the body to make it look kind of like lights cascading down it, or at least that's how I'm taking it anyway. I could be very much off base, but that's what it seems like to me. And for this particular Xeno, in the setting that it takes place in, it definitely works. As usual, it's the same NECA stuff, so tons of sculpted detail excellent quality. I mean, you really can't beat these figures, especially at this price point for the amount of detail that we're getting. It's very much just exactly what you want it to be. I'm always a fan of the bendy wire tail. There is a tremendous amount of sculpt and detail in this. The tubes on the back, the big shoulder pads, all that kind of stuff. He almost has like a kind of wet look to him as well, because he does kind of glisten while at the same time being very dull with that gray over top of the black. So if you're familiar with NECA Xenos, you're in for more of the same. But again, that is not at all a negative. He looks damn good. However, the only area where I may have a little bit of a gripe is in the head, not in the sculpt area or anything like that, but in more of the paint. So we will talk about that in a second. We do have to talk about the fact that he does, of course, have the inner mouth. So you've got that there. Pop that guy out. It's articulation, but I mean, not really. It doesn't help him pose or anything or move really. So you've got that jaw, you've got the very metallic teeth, and then you've got more of that kind of gray that runs through the piping and the ribbing and the bone structure and all over the mouth. But what I really want to talk about is the dome. So you've got the big ribbed dome on the inside, and then it's black on the back and it's black on the front and very clear in the middle, so you can see that kind of internal structure. What I don't really like is the fact that this front piece, and this was kind of pointed out to me afterwards by other folks, I just didn't notice it, was that on the box, this is very clear, and you can see those almost unused eye sockets that are in there, that are inside their heads, but you can't really make them out here. They're very black. I've seen other photos as well. It doesn't seem to be unique to mine or a handful. It seems to be something that's widespread. I don't know if it's an issue per se, or something that they decided to change at one point, but it looks like on the box, it's a little more transparent. You can see the actual eye sockets in there, whereas here you can't. It's not a huge deal. It's not ruining my day or anything. The rest of the head sculpt is tremendous. The smoky nature of the dome looks really good. I love being able to see the inside and that kind of spine that runs down there. It does look great, but I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of the structure at the front, that's all. Now, as far as accessories goes, this is where the figure becomes a little bit more than just a figure and more of an actual deluxe set. And for the money on this set, you're getting a lot, really. So you've got basically the life cycle of a xenomorph here. So we've got the egg, and this is, of course, opened. And there's a lot of sculpt on this thing, a lot of painted detail. Even on the inside here, you can see kind of like the mucous membrane and everything in there. You've got all the little tentacles that stick out, that branch out to where the other eggs are. And there's just a lot of paint on it. I mean, it honestly has a lot more than you might think, from the whites and the pinks to that kind of concrete looking overspray on here as well. It's two pieces, so you've got the egg and then the base, so it just keys in and then you set it down there. And then you do have the other form. So we've got his fake facehugger form here. We've seen facehuggers before. I don't know if this is exactly new or different or anything, but it's a facehugger. Little paint on it, quite a bit of sculpt on it. It's got a bendy wire tail. You've got all the 8 limbs and everything, so you've got all that stuff, so you can have him kind of coming out of the egg almost, you know, have him kind of emerging and crawling down, stuff like that. Do something like that, maybe not exactly like that, but you can do that. And then there's also a chest burster in here as well. So there you've got the chest burster as well, and this is something we've seen before as well. It's got the blood on there after he pops out a cane, and then decent sculpt on it. You've got the little silver in there for the teeth, and again, more of that NECA bendy wire action. So I think this is a really cool set. I mean, this is a lot of stuff. I don't know that I need this stuff. I really like the egg. This is what really does it for me and kind of sets this thing apart from a lot of other figures, but it's really cool to be able to get all of the pieces that make this guy. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this guy. Again, I was really looking forward to this one just because, well, it's a pivotal alien, it's a pivotal xenomorph in the saga, in the line, and it's one to really get. If you're going after these, you kind of need this one on your shelf, and it's nice to be able to get a more definitive version rather than going back and getting something old. And I think NECA did a great job here. It's got a great amount of paint on it. The sculpt is, as always, through the freaking roof. This guy does move around really well. I didn't really have any problems with any of my joints. No heat was applied to this figure in any capacity. He just moved out of the box, and then out of the box in particular, I just love everything he comes with. The fact that you get all of these things, whether I truly need them or not for my display, I think it's a fantastic deal. It's a great package. Just the egg alone is worth the price of admission on this set, just to have one of those on your shelf if you don't already, but then you get a great xenomorph and the other 2 forms, and it makes for just a great package to kind of get things started when it comes to this anniversary selection that they're making. So that's going to do it for this look at the NECA Toys Ultimate Big Chap Xenomorph. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.